Hi, it's Deirdre Fay, and I have gotten a lot of emails from people and comments on Facebook asking about how do people know when the right choice is, how to make a choice about something like the meditation skills for healing trauma that I'm doing right now. Is it the right time? And I thought to myself, really it's important to me that people learn to trust themselves and trust their own inner wisdom. It's almost less important that you do the course. It's more important that you trust yourself and know when you know. So I thought, I'm going to show you the map that I use and teach in all my trainings, the map of how we know or what happens, how we get stuck in habits of thought, and how do we break out of it? How do we learn to listen to our own internal wisdom? So let me go through it and see if it makes sense to you, and I'm definitely going to want to know your comments and feedback. So here's what I want to say. When we're going through life, we have this normal habit, this way of being, and we just sort of trundle along that habit, and we do what we do over and over because that's what we know how to do, right? Years and years of practice of doing this has solidified it, so we know what to do, and that makes us feel comfortable. Actually, if we step outside of that, we step outside our comfort zone, it's a little fraught for many of us. It's hard. We have to accommodate to that and adapt to it, and many of us don't. Well, you know what happens always, inevitably, something happens. Sometimes there's really good things that happen in life. Sometimes they're not so good. Sometimes they're hard things. So what do? Well, what we know, and what I call it, is when we come up against something big, or small even, we have what I call a protest. We argue against it, we blame people, we criticize, we make people wrong, we make ourselves wrong, we're brutal and hard on ourselves and other people, we withdraw from connection, from life. What we do is we say, see, I need to stay here. It doesn't work to do it a different way. It doesn't work to try anything, because this always comes up. And we don't say, I don't know how to handle it. Sometimes we do, but we get stuck in this protest behavior. Now, the question I have always is, if it shouldn't be like this, because that's what we say when we're stuck in a protest behavior. We say, life isn't fair. It shouldn't be like this, right? I mean, maybe I'm the only one, but I don't think so, right? That's what we say. But if we're saying it shouldn't be like this, what way should it be like? If it should be like this, then wouldn't that be the way that it is? And we wouldn't be protesting then, right? But the reason we're protesting is because something in us, I call it our heart. I think it's our heart that's saying something should be different. It should be different. I should be loved. I should be valued. I should be respected. I should know how to do this. I should be able to X, Y, and Z. Life should be easier, right? It should be, but it's not. So what we do is, when that longing comes up for life to be different, we shove it down. We push it away. We exile it again and again and again. But if we learn to do this, if we learn to trust the protest and listen to our longing, that longing is actually pointing us in a direction of where we want to go, into this unknown. We just don't know how to get there. But if we start listening to the protest and let our heart start speaking to us and show us through little subtle longings something else, we start moving toward, start taking tiny baby steps toward what, not even, it's more like this. It's hardly ever a straight line. But as we do that, we encounter this other thing, and I call it turbulence, right? It's just going to make this all messy. Excuse my bad writing here, you guys. Turbulence. I think I'm spelling that right. Turbulence comes up every time we step outside of our comfort zone. Guaranteed. You can absolutely count on it. Every time we step beyond what we know, are outside of our comfort zone, we're going to have turbulence. But the healing path, which is this, it's a heroic quest. And the heroic quest is about being able to recognize our protest, acknowledge our longing, and befriend the turbulence. And then we'll slowly be able to walk our way through. And that, frankly, is what I'm about doing all the time in all the courses, and I'm certainly doing that in the meditation skills for healing trauma. So if this helps at all, use it in your life. If this inspires you to come and join us in the meditation skills class, great, I'd love to have you there. But the most important thing is trust your longing, listen to your protest, because your protest is pointing you where you want to go. And it may not be into this course, but you'll know by listening and befriending, acknowledging your longing, befriending your turbulence, and taking the steps you need to in your life. So thanks. It's Deirdre Fay, and I'm always sending you goodness.